was real, with Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got something to share, pick up the phone, turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that is trend.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. Always remember, we never have a subject matter. We speak on any issue. You can interrupt us at any time. You can change the subject matter. We encourage people to be tolerant, to be respectful to one another. And remember, people's opinion is not facts, it's their opinion. But we want to encourage discussion and dialogue in our country. We must encourage tolerance and we must encourage dialogue. Sometimes you don't have the answer. You may come up with a good idea, but by the time many people address the idea, your idea could be developed into something better. Don't get angry when people disagree with you. If you walk in a place and people disagree with something, don't take it personal. Examine it and look at it for what it is worth. In Grenada today, we have two main political parties. Always so, 2 or 3 main political parties. And you want to know what is the difference between the party. You must search for the party policy. Because otherwise you might find personalities. You may find some people who are great speakers. They have a good command of the English language. But the policy of the party is what's going to determine whether you could grow and develop with the party or not. Today we want to look at foreign policy. In yesteryear, foreign policy was not so important. In the days of Eric Gary, foreign policy was not so much an important factor until the alliance come. Until Maurice Bishop and them come on the scene. But today in our society, small countries like ours must be careful. What is our foreign policy? You see, Grenada must discuss foreign policy. Both the NNP and the NDC, but the NDC is in power now. So I'll put emphasis on them. And I believe that the present foreign policy may not be necessarily in the interest of our development. They seem to be cultivating or harboring or developing a very controversial foreign policy. One that is in confrontation with the United States of America. And we could always say we're independent and we have sovereignty and we could do what we want. But just as how you could do what you want, the United States could do what they want to. The Dalai Lama, he say if you can beat your enemy, tie your 2 hands behind your back when you go into your enemy. So your enemy know you is not a threat. I believe Grenada is on the wrong trajectory. There are a number of politicians in Grenada that has gone left wing again in direct confrontation with the United States of America. And it would have disastrous effect for our people. Why do I say that? Our economy is basically tied or depends or interacts a lot with the US economy. The St. George's University, one entity, contribute more than 20% of our GDP. That is significant. Grenada depends a lot on remittance. People sending back money here. Boyfriend sending back to girlfriend. Girlfriend sending back to boyfriend. Brothers and sisters sending back. Parents sending back. Remittance. What they're sending back is foreign exchange. And we need foreign exchange to purchase goods and services. The tourist trade. We need American tourists. German and European tourists. One guy told me once 75 American tourists better than 100 European tourists, better than 150 Japanese tourists, better than 200 Chinese tourists. He said the Americans spend more money when they come to your country. So here we have an economy where, as I mentioned, 20% of the GDP is contributed by the St. George's University. The St. George's University is one of the biggest suppliers of medical doctors from foreign land to the United States of America. Remittance, tourism, the sale of passport. Our passport is attractive because people purchasing our passport could go to the United States of America and Europe. Not China, not Russia, not Cuba, not Togo. United States of America. And our agricultural products are sold to the US market. We are the only country in the world, stand to be corrected, that can export fresh sauce-up to the US market. We cannot supply the market. So the Ministry of Agriculture should be putting emphasis on how they could increase production in sauce-up. We have a lot of empty land. We're growing bamboo, buakano, and baliji. And while these crops might be of immense importance, they don't have economic importance. So the Ministry of Agriculture should be trying to put 50 or 100 acres of land under sauce-up because we have a market for it in the United States. We export fish to the US market. And there are over 20 other agriculture products that we can send to the US market. And we're not doing anything about it. Instead of that, our political directorate is on a confrontational path with the United States government. I asked the question 1,000 times. What is the economic significance of it? Politicians leading a country is not because of their personal agenda. It's the country. So why the NDC is on a confrontational path with the United States of America? Most of these imperial power, they readily use gunboat tendency. China did it with Japan. United States did. Russia does it. Japan used to do it. These countries use gunboat diplomacy when dealing with weaker forces. Grenada have had an experience before under Maurice Bishop when we was more left than any country in the Caribbean. Guyana had cooperative socialism under Forbes Bonham. Jamaica had democratic socialism under Michael Manley. Grass grew in hotels in Jamaica. Jamaica was a supplier of bauxite, and United States was the biggest market. And when the United States, because of political issues, start cutting down on the bauxite that they consume from Jamaica, warning went out advising the people not to go to Jamaica or to be careful when they go into Jamaica because of violence. The tourist trade in Jamaica almost grind to a halt. And social decadence become the order of the day. We have a lot of lessons to learn. So why is it Grenada is engaging again in confrontational policies with the United States of America? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Is it Pierre?
Yes, scholar, welcome.
How you doing?
Great, man.
Good. Now, Mr. Pierre, right? I don't understand. We do not too loud now.
Now go ahead. Not here.
Right. Nice, thanks. No, I don't understand. I don't understand. We kind of people are tolerant. I mean, in the side of the world. No, we have just over 100,000 people here. Now, I'm not talking about no specific administration here, right? We have a sort of attitude, a mindset that look, we could run with a begging bowl every morning and beg for this and beg for that and beg for that, and we get it. So what I'm saying is, I mean, why opposition and the government of the day cannot sit down and have a one-to-one, and in the interest of the country, in the interest of the people. Why they always have to be picking at each other? I mean, just why? This thing is not. Listening. Nobody gets nowhere at the end of the day, with that sort of mindset, with this kind of attitude, I mean, and you know that too. Trust me. When you sit there talking, you knows that well, right? We don't achieving anything of any significance, right? With this sort of mindset, with this kind of attitude. I mean, just look at China, for instance. You there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Just look at China, for instance. China don't have no big set of, natural resources, But you know what they do? They make maximum use of the human resource, right? And they're able to be all over the world, right? Assisting people, giving people all kind of assisting in all different aspects, right, of development. All over the world, right? They make maximum use of the human resource. They don't joke with that. So that is what we have to do here, right? And we're not doing it. Okay? And I'm not talking about no specific administration here. I'm talking about, all the administration, maybe with the exception of maybe Maurice Bishop, and we could do better than that. Am I making sense here, Mr. Pierre?
Well, I believe one of we must have more people calling for governments to concentrate on self-development and to be tolerant and to prepare to communicate more with the opposition. Exactly. That is the key. You have to have more Grenadians calling for that to happen.
Exactly, because really, actually, this is the way forward. It don't make sense, opposition picking on government picking on opposition, and it's wrong in circles, in the pond, on the river, in the bank, on the river, and so we going on and on with we're not getting anywhere, friend. I mean, the thing about it is, at the end of the day, this is the thing we feel good to leave for our children. I mean, when we die and they look all right and gone and they look back and they say, well, this. I mean, come on. No, no, no. I mean, we could do, Mr. Pierre. We could do
Much
better
better.
than that. We
Yes,
could do
thank
better
you.
than that. Thank you. Right.
Yes, the callers say we could do much better than that. And we are the ones to point out the direction we must go. And we must take position that we must discuss the foreign policy of our government with a view to encourage them to seek Grenada's interests. You don't have to get into confrontational politics with the superpower. Whether you like Russia or you like China, you're supposed to be able to demele without confrontational politics. You don't have to take the American sides or take the Russian side or take the Cuban side or take the Chinese side. You could take Grenada side. Because your economy is so dependent on the American market, you have to be careful with your policy. Or your policy should reflect where your economy is dependent on. So while you diversify, you must be tactful and prudent. As I always say, the Dalai Lama say, tie your two hands behind your back when you go into your enemy, if you can beat your enemy. The United States of America could put severe pressure on you and put your economy in a tailspin. Yes, you may run to China, but what would you export to China? Right now, Grenada have nothing to export to China. I believe if we are wise, we may be able to send a container load of sea moss or ginger dry to China. Yes, scholar, welcome.
So, Pierre,
Yes, scholar.
you talk about foreign policy. You heard the Prime Minister say that he declared he want the Caribbean to declare a zone of peace. Why not better foreign policy could run than that? Declare the Caribbean a zone of peace. No war in the Caribbean again. Let the America come out of the Caribbean with a dam to come from both the problem of peace. We want a zone of peace in the Caribbean. America, they and they want to punish Grenada because Grenada finding other company to try to develop the oil industry. The Americans want to pull out another belt. They have Trinidad already. They want Grenada in the back too. The Prime Minister said no. He said, Prime Minister said, he develop a relationship with every country. If finding new relationship with new countries and keeping them with the old one. So if they don't want that, that is them. And I fully support the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said he's talking about foreign market for all our produce. So he found a relationship with other countries. If the Americans don't like it, they will stick it. I support the Prime Minister in full. According to the Prime Minister, don't surrender. Keep on keeping on. Keep on the way you're going. Mr. Prime Minister, have a good day.
Yes, scholar, thank you. On one occasion, I described the Prime Minister as a political lunatic. And the Prime Minister have to be careful that he don't put Grenada in trouble. And it's the same thing I'm saying before. What in Grenada that the Prime Minister is looking for the market for? We have fish and soursop, cocoa and nutmeg. And we have market for 20 other agriculture crops, but we don't have crops to sell. Now, the prime minister must take the country in confidence and don't just open his mouth and let words come out. But tell us what market you're looking for in Togo or in Cuba or in Russia or in China. You cannot just say you're looking for market. You have to tell us what you want to export there. You see, otherwise what we're doing, we're going back and do what Maurice Bishop did. Maurice Bishop was beating his chest, threatening the American, giving them word, and he couldn't back it up. What he was doing was not sustainable. So that is a political lunatic. Because you could end up with serious repercussion. The Americans have already taken away the passport, visa authority from the Minister of Finance. That might just be a little token to show you who bad. So Grenada have to negotiate with the Americans. Grenada can be beating the chest with the American. In school, they used to put leaf on shoulder. And who bad trade down. And if you throw down mine, and I ain't bad, I ain't do you nothing. So the story end. But if I throw down yours, and you're bad, you give me 2 lash. Normally the children wouldn't let you take too much advantage of me. But look at what's going on in the Caribbean now. Jamaica sent a mission to the states to convince them that they're going to renegotiate their agreement with Cuba. And that seems to satisfy the states. The Bahamas did the same thing. And that seems to satisfy the Americans. Mia Motley toned down. And that seems to satisfy the American. St. Vincent acted in a diplomatic way. And that seems to satisfy the American. Well, Grenada seems to have the most Marxist, Leninist, communist, and atheist in the Caribbean. So they're beating the chest for the American. How that could make sense? How you could support Deacon Mitchell with this nonsense? How that could make sense? When you go to Cuba, once you use the US dollar, Cuba put 30% tax on the US dollar. Well, the American could do us the same thing. They could put 30% preemptive tax on all remittance, all money coming here. And when tourists come here, you have 30% tax on it. And they prefer to go to St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica than come in Grenada. So I don't think it is wise and prudent for our people to support the present political directorate in making this dumb political decision. If they believe them is Marxist, Leninist, and communist, I notice they stayed silent when Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine is an independent sovereign country. A couple years ago, I can't remember the exact date. If it's 2005 or when. They gave up the nuclear weapon to Russia. And they signed an agreement with Britain and America to protect them. In Joseph Stalin period, in the Great Famine, thousands of people starved They eat dog. Some say they eat human being in Ukraine under the Great Famine. We have issue going on in the Middle East with Israel and Hamas. Some countries take sides, they back in Hamas. They want Hamas kill the Jews. Some countries back in the US, particularly, they back in Israel, particularly the US. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller.
Yeah. Two moments. Yeah. Tell me something. Why the Caribbean heads of government up to now, right, hasn't said anything about the U.S. presence in the Caribbean? I mean, concerning all the warships and trying to attack Venezuela. Why the Caribbean heads of government is not really saying anything? Why they so silent on that issue? Why?
Well, I think the Caribbean take sides, and I always chastise them for that. They should end up like a broker for peace.
Yes.
So now they could have offered to negotiate between Venezuela and United States of America.
Why they remaining so silent?
Well, yes, because they take sides. They back Venezuela, some back Venezuela. So they take sides. So if you take side, then it's difficult for you to come and present yourself as a peacemaker. And that's what happened.
And the thing when you say the take side, what I mean,
this conflict been going on.
Side of the Americans then.
Some take the side of the Americans, some take the side of Venezuela.
So they're not united.
They're not united, and as a result of that, CARICOM cannot offer themselves as a mediator.
What? And you see, and according to a certain color, the Caribbean should be declared a zone of peace.
Well, you could only say this nonsense. You could declare zone of peace. You have power. You have no power. You could negotiate that, but for you to negotiate that, you have to be proactive.
Yeah,
so
no. But I agree. We don't even have us sling in the we don't even have us as much as a sling shot. We know that, but we should stand together and let our voices.
That is the point I'm making. You could only do that if you consistently offer yourself as a peace broker. When Venezuela was exercising aggression against Guyana, the Caribbean countries should call on both sides to mediate and say the matter must be settled in the court, because Venezuela did not want to go to court. So if the CARICOM had taken a position one time, this matter must be settled in court, they would have been coherent, they would have acted with one voice. But even at that time, some of them stay silent on Guyana because they back in Venezuela.
Exactly. No. Listen again. Just to differ a bit. Look, America, and not America. Sorry, Russia and Ukraine. Mr. Pierre, isn't Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union in the past?
Yes, and after the Soviet Union broke up, a number of these countries become independent, and then Ukraine gave back the Russia all the nuclear weapon that was on Ukraine soil, together in an agreement with the British and the Americans. Mm-hmm. And Ukraine called on the American and the British to protect them.
But
Russia.
No. But listen, I don't know much. You might be more versed with these things with these international things more better than me. Respect. But forgive me if I'm wrong here. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if Putin say, right, that Russia, right, if Putin say Ukraine, right, should not be part of NATO, What is the issue? I mean,
if
okay, why NATO should insist? I mean, yes,
but
listen,
if Ukraine is an independent sovereign country, how a next country could tell you what organization to join?
I agree.
And then Russia they apply for membership in NATO.
I agree, but listen, the point about it is, no, okay, look at us in the Caribbean, you know?
Yeah.
Look at us in the Caribbean here, right? We gain independence from Britain, right? Or from England or wherever, right?
British.
British, okay. And we did right. Now, could Grenada say, or any one of these Caribbean countries say, look, we don't want to have, okay, we want to break away from, we want to establish diplomatic relationship with Russia, right? And we don't want none of this British, we don't want none of this England thing or this British, to have any interference with our foreign, with
yes, we could say that.
You think so?
Yeah, we could say
I
that.
don't think
Yeah, we could say that America might just send back all the people in England, yes. And then you see, it may not
Mr.
be,
Pierre, it is not, Mr. Pierre, with due respect
we
to you,
could do it.
It is not so easy as how it might.
Well, let me say something. It may not be in our economic interest.
Huh?
It may not be in our economic interest.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go. These things, it is not that easy as how you and I. Because listen, because yeah, they get the independence, but Putin no, right? They get the independence. All them country was former part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was headed by Russia, right?
But the Soviet Union break up.
I know they break up.
And a number of countries get their independence.
I know they break up.
And Putin want to get back the Soviet Union again. So he wants to take it by force. Well, how he could? Ukraine is an independent.
Okay. All right. I don't really want to be too long. I hope I'm making a little sense here to maybe who listen or whatever. But what I'm saying is this here, right? So so if all the countries close to Russia there, right? Just forgive my stupidity here, right? Or my ignorance here. If all the countries around Russia, right, that was part of the Soviet Union, say, look, they want to join with NATO, right? Tell me, should Putin sit there idle and allow that to happen?
What are you going to do?
Huh?
What are you going to do?
No, I'm just asking you.
What is about their independent countries?
Mr. Pierre, this thing is not so easy as how you are.
Look at Finland. Well, Finland joined NATO, and Sweden joined NATO, and Finland and Russia fight war, and one time Russia controlled Finland,
yes,
and they joined NATO, and they believe even though I'm independent, I can't remain alone. Russia go attack me, so they joined NATO because NATO have a treaty, one for all and all for one, Article 5. So if you touch one, you touch all. So these little badger and them decide are not powerful as a little badger. So they come together. Mm-hmm. So Russia wouldn't go and invade Finland and Poland because Russia know she had to fight NATO, World War III.
And why she insists that Ukraine must not be part of NATO?
Well, she because of the fact that if Ukraine join NATO, NATO is stronger and then Russia back though. But who is Russia to determine whether Ukraine should join or not? You see, Color, one of the problems we have is the left wing. A lot of countries don't like left wing countries because you have no election, no freedom of the press, and when you object to them, they jail you.
Mr. Pierre, tell me something before. We had there was an organization called what used to call them the non-aligned movement.
Well, non-aligned was a strategy for countries who supporting the left to do as if they don't support in the left. Cuba was in charge of the non-aligned. How Cuba don't non-aligned?
So what happened? So what happened? What happened to these? Happened to this organization really?
Well, as soon as the Russian countries cannot fall through, non-aligned get quiet.
But this one is not. Mr. Pierre, this one is not as simple as we don't look at it.
Thank you, caller.
It is not that simple.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yes, caller, we on the line. Come on, punch.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes, caller.
good afternoon. Mr. Pierre,
Yeah.
in 1983, what happened in 1983? America invaded Grenada, right?
Well, some say invaded, intervene, or rescued. Depends on which side of the
What?
pendulum you are.
Right. Okay, good. Now, right after that, starting from it was in October 1983. Right after that, from 1983, October 1983, right up to about 1987 thereabouts, more Grenadians got permanent residence. They got visas to go to America than most Caribbean countries.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that so?
Yeah.
Right. Who were the people that were going up there for those visas? The majority of them was the comrades.
Yeah, most of
Same
the comrades, only 3 of us are lean green, all them go.
The same comrades that sat down and criticized
Comrade, you want to turn back the revolution?
all of them left and went to America. Okay? Now, how many of these comrades came back to Grenada after they came up to the United States, established themselves?
Maybe one or
permanent
two.
residence, got
Maybe one or two might come up.
maybe. As a matter of fact, most of them are still here in America,
Yeah.
right? At that time under Ronald Reagan, the Caribbean, a lot of people in the Caribbean got the opportunity to migrate
The
here,
Caribbean Basin Initiative.
right? No. You're sitting here, and I'm hearing so many Grenadians come up on the station and talking a certain nonsense about
Revolutionary.
Venezuela tried to invade Guyana's sovereign territory to take away their oil. Okay? They went, a group of them, including our Prime Minister and including the Papi Showman in St. Vincent,
Rob
went
Gonzalez.
down and they had discussions and blah blah blah. Stop it, behave yourself. Maduro's still doing it. Maduro's still trying to invade that country. Still trying to get the oil. Okay? He has not stopped. Okay? Now, you're talking about whether or not you should take the side of America or be non-aligned. Everybody's talking about non-aligned and we should be a peaceful zone and all sorts of foolishness. How many people, how many Caribbean countries have come out in protest about the fish situation in Grenada? How many Caribbean countries have come out in protest against the minister losing his visa? How many? Little whispers here, little talk there, little.
Grenada is left wing. Them Caribbean island may saying Grenada is the communist country in the Caribbean.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Pierre. Everybody watching out for their own behind, right? And people talk about Raul Gonzalez. He is one of the most cunning politicians in the Caribbean. What that man has done is that man continues to build his tourism product significantly, right? And he is he is laughing at Grenada. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, man, listen to you, man. You're on good point.
Right. He is laughing at Grenada because he is building a cruise ship terminal. He has just built an international runway.
Airport.
He has gotten the Hilton to come into St. Vincent.
Sanders.
He is encouraging foreign investment from the United States to come into his country. Most of the flights coming into St. Vincent is from the United States, right? But Rav Gonzalez saying one thing and then talking another thing. Very cunning. And if you're stupid to listen to the stupidity that I have to preach and you want to regurgitate it, that's on you. That's not on me because that's not what I want. You understand? Look at his track record. Look at St. Lucia building and trying to get a tourism product back on stream. The problem that the southern Caribbean islands have, including Grenada, is that we are still living in the past. And we have to understand we have to live in the present. The northern Caribbean islands ain't stupid. They know that they have to depend on America for tourism. They have been dependent on America for a lot of things throughout the years. The problem in Grenada is that we've never got to that stage. We've always said banana, nutmeg, and cocoa go help us through, right? But no, you have to understand things have changed, right? It is no longer that. While it is you have to depend on agriculture, but agriculture has to be developed uh, very good and very viable, right? And you have to look at value added with
Market,
agriculture.
market.
Market value added, right? You cannot just simply say, okay, you know what? All of our people want to eat what we have. Okay, so you want to eat all the fish that America not taking? I mean, come on, let's be honest, right? What you gonna do with the nutmeg? You gonna eat all the nutmeg, right? When you look at markets, you have to look at who is paying you the most top dollar for your product. Now you might say, okay, let's look at another market. And because the market realized that listen, you just mess up your good thing with America. Now they're in a position to demand of you what price they're about to pay. Am I right or wrong?
You correct, man. You hitting the nail on the right head, man.
You understand?
We're letting
No,
political ideology blind economic realities.
exactly. This is not the 70s and the 60s. And you made a point which was very valuable. When Michael Manley sat down there and said, you know what, we're gonna start producing and we're gonna ban this product, we're gonna ban that product, we're gonna ban what happened to the Jamaican dollar?
Grass grow in the
It went to the
hotel,
toilet.
and the Jamaica dollar that was equal to the US capsized.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Right? No, the Jamaicans have a lot of products that they're sending into the United States. Agricultural products, right? You go through all the stores in the United States, you see great quality products in there. You see Torio's products there, right? Okay, and ton of product from Jamaica, value added product. Can this, can that. You name it. You understand? No, the problem that Grenada has, in order to produce right canned products to take your product and can it, your biggest cost after
Energy,
after salaries is
energy.
funds, energy, energy, right? And then remember when you can that product and you come out in the world market now, you have to have a price. Our beating our chest and saying, "Oh, ours is the best." How do you prove that? Right? You just saying ours is the best. Like, oh, that's national pride nonsense. When it goes on the shelf,
That when you're
you have
barely
to make that
full,
decision.
that when you're barely full, you could talk this nonsense.
Yeah, when you put it on that shelf and it has to compete against Jamaica, St. Lucia, Trinidad, and all these other Caribbean products, that's when the proof would be the eating, right? So just sitting on here and just feeling that all of a sudden Grenada is this big, happy country. Oh, please give us a break here, right? Sit down, decide what's good for your people, what's beneficial for your country, and you make that decision based on that. It is who is giving you, at the end of the day, the money, the dollars, right? Who is willing to trade with you and who is willing to build your country, right? Where the money is going to come from. You have all these flights coming into Grenada, coming in from the USA. Your tourism product depends on the USA. To tell you how dumb my dear Prime Minister is, you put a cost on sugar, which is a key component in helping your cottage industry. So when I go to St. Vincent and I buy a packet of tamarind balls for $1 US, and I go to St. Lucia and I buy 75 cents US, I come to Grenada, it's now $3 US. Because you raise the price of sugar on your cottage industry. How stupid could you be? Right? And then to sit down and tell the average person because of diabetes? Come on, Mr. Prime Minister. Right? Then you want to take that same product, put a label on it, and you run along to the post office, and the post office tells you, no, we can't do that again.
You can't touch that. You can't go to the US.
We can't touch that. Okay. So now you have to find another way of bringing it in here.
You go sell it in Togo and China.
I mean, poor fella.
Yeah,
Right? So when I walk into a supermarket here and I see tamarind balls, Grenada, $3. Then Usha, $2. This one, $1. Now, even if I am a Grenadian, I might choose to buy a packet because I want to help out my own country. But remember, we are all faced with the same economic problems. And I've been saying, you know what? At the end of the day, a tamarind ball is a tamarind ball.
A tamarind ball is a tamarind ball and it's cheaper.
Exactly. So you created all these problems without even thinking, right, about how you're going to combat.
Yes, scholar.
Right? No.
Yes, scholar. Thank you.
No control. No, sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah. No consultation with your farmers. No consultation with your fisheries. No consultation with your cottage industry. Nothing at all. All you do is just simply make decisions willy-nilly. Right? Without sitting down and thinking. Anyway, Mr. Pierre.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. And caller, you're correct. I agree with you. The Prime Minister is a political lunatic. The Prime Minister put tax on sugar. And then the Prime Minister encouraging the growth of white potato. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Doc.
Yes, my brother.
Well, you find a better Doc, you know.
But this one will go.
I listened to this guy there.
He right on target.
Yeah, you find these experts, but they're sporadic. These smart guys are sporadic. And this is what we need in Grenada, you know, and to transform us because we're in a very, very bad state. But it's Ralph. I said that Ralph is a smart guy. Ralph is a true diplomat. You know, Ralph is outsmarting all the time.
Ralph, the Bahamas, Jamaica, me a month Lisa to change him out.
Yeah, you see, because, look, I have a country to run and I have a people to take care of, and I'm going to do the thing that is best suited for my country, yeah? So, where's CARICOM? I said to you on this program many times, and the other programs, that CARICOM is a waste of time. All these bodies we have, the OAS, the OECD, and this CARICOM, they're a waste of time. And I'm asking Mr. Pierre, where is our economist?
They're hiding our economists and managers and historians, all them take bush.
When you listen to this guy,
You must call him regular.
he could have gone on.
Yes, I know. You could
You know,
have done it.
You have to ask this question: where is our economist? Because I've been saying this long. Could the economists of Grenada do a white paper to the government and the economy, regardless of where your political stance?
Help the government, man.
Help the government,
Help the
because
government.
you see, you're helping yourself. Now Grenada is in this serious situation. Every one of us is in that sinking boat. Every one of us. How do we get us from where we are? I said to you many times, I don't want to take too long, but I said to you many times, tourism, agriculture, real estate, the service sector, the building industry, those are the key areas to rescue Grenada. Infrastructure. Are we talking about this? No, we're talking about doing a lot of things that will raise our cost. But where did the money come from? How do you get the money? How do you attract the money? Are you going to go to the World Bank? Are you going to the IMF? Well, that says you're going to raise the price of sugar further. Yeah? Because you have access to pay back the loan. We doesn't have the money to spend back for you to get the loan. So what are you going to do? Are you going to run out of the country? You just throw your hand up in there and say, look, we can't make it. You have to empower your people financially by the strength of the economy. No economy. I don't care who tells me you cannot grow an economy by 1%. You cannot grow an economy by 2%, never 3%. If you tell me you just sit back there and people spending and they're doing things and you have a reserve from your expenditure 3%, I will understand that. But don't tell me what are you doing to grow the economy specifically by 3%? How do you get the people to spend exactly what you want them to spend to say, well, we grow the economy by X, Y, Z? No, in order for an economy to grow, you have to grow people. It have to be on all sides. The economy must grow on all sides. People must be able to save. They must be able to meet needs. Government must be able to save. They must be able to meet the needs. So you say that is real good. But have we positioned this country for? So I'm saying to this guy, if you have maybe $10 million, come back home, buy a few acres of land, and set up a structure that could turn the economy around. We need you.
Yes, scholar.
We're in a bad state.
Yes, scholar. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yes, and I think it's so important for us to discuss issues. We mustn't afraid discussion. And NDC members, a discussion like that, you must glad to take part in it. Are you satisfied with the government, the NDC foreign policy? The NDC foreign policy seems to be confrontational. We seems the left, the extreme left wing, the communists and the atheists, they seems once again ready to influence our country. Already they're in confrontational role with the US. The Prime Minister of Grenada seems as a political lunatic. On one hand, he hugging up Chavez. On the next hand, he wants an American company to sell our hospital, the American company. Well, how that could make sense? They're beating their chest about the American complaint that the medical personnel that come in Grenada, the question is about slave labor. On one hand, you're beating your chest for the American. On the other hand, you're going to get Nigerian doctors. You seems as if you're not consistent. You don't know where you're going. You're a political lunatic. And while you're doing that, you're creating unnecessary confrontation with the United States of America. Donald Trump already is a character for himself. Donald Trump said, America is the most beat up bully he see. This man has not been saying that now. Yes. He has been saying that. He chastised Europe. He said, don't depend on Russian oil. Up to now, some European countries have to buy Russian oil. He said, what's wrong with all you? Maduro in Venezuela. Thousands of Venezuelans running from Venezuela. Something wrong. And they want to go to the United States of America. So the United States of America must be concerned in what's going on in Venezuela. I don't agree with his action in Venezuela. Fire missile on the boat. If he believes the boat is a drug boat, he should seize the boat and give them a trial. But Donald Trump is very unorthodox. The Caribbean CARICOM should have present themselves as an agent of peace. But they take sides. And Grenada seems to be the communist badger, beating the chest. Well, all you're doing, you're putting our economy in trouble. Because the Americans have a lot of option for Grenada, And that was our last caller because the time is coming to a close. The Americans have a lot of option for Grenada. They could stop us shipping sauce up to the American market. They could put 30% preemptive tax on any transaction coming to Grenada. Those who buy on eBay, Amazon, or whatever the case may be. Even when Grenadians coming home with their money, 30% tax. You could make the economic situation in Grenada bleak. You could stop genuine people from getting visas. What the government going to do? You're going to sell sauce up in Togo? You're going to send fish in Cuba? Our leaders must think. Even if China agree with you, look at the Chinese that building the $1 billion project in Liver. What is the multiplying effect of these Chinese? You see them on a truck, you feel sorry for them. They look as prisoners. They're on a truck. They don't seem to have the power to stop in shops and buy or go and dance integrate in the society as if it was a British or American or a Trinidad company that work in here. That is almost a culture clash. So every time the NDC come in power, the foreign policy seems not to be clear because this NDC is made up by the extreme left, the atheists, and a bunch of greedy politicians like Deacon. So they don't have a clear position. I ask repeatedly, who is the third party directing our foreign policy? The Prime Minister says he is the face of Grenada, Then why do you have a foreign minister, Joseph Andal? You turn him into a mama pool. If you are the de facto foreign minister, every minute you're in Dubai, you're in Africa, you're in Nigeria, you're there hugging up Venezuela president. You didn't go to the American meeting, and yet you are polarized. Well, how that could make sense? It seems that this present government don't know what they're doing, or there are many strings that dictating our foreign policy. We can't plead the fifth. We can't say we don't know, because we in Grenada would stand the consequences of the government controversial and confrontational foreign policy with the United States of America. We want to thank you very much for participating in this program today. This program is about provoking discussion. We would like you to continue discussing Grenada foreign policy. And we're back with you next week once the clock strikes 12. Thank you very much.
Monday to Thursday, where they're it up. Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. share. Pick up the phone.